evening. History being made right now.
We agreed to enter into further negotiations to see if a stable and effective alternative could be found within this current parliament. The three of us felt it was our responsibility to Canadians to explore this possibility. Canadians elected 308 members of parliament in October, not just Stephen Harper. This is the parliament they elected. We must try to make this parliament work. After these negotiations, I'm very pleased to announce that we are ready to form a new government that will address the best interest of the people instead of plunging Canadians into another inaction. This will be a Liberal-led government in collaboration with the New Democratic Party and with the support of the Bloc Québécois.
Lots of historic wheeling and dealing. Let's go out to political specialist Richard Madden in Ottawa. Richard.
Overall, I can tell you the atmosphere here on Parliament Hill has certainly been chaotic all day. We're also learning some details of this new proposed coalition government. I can tell you that it will be a 24-member cabinet. 18 of them will be Liberals, 6 will be New Democrats. The finance minister will be a Liberal. One of the first orders of business, if this coalition government does indeed govern, will be an economic stimulus package worth roughly $30 billion. Most of that money would be earmarked to infrastructure, the auto sector, public transit, things along those lines. Obviously, a very historic day. We have not seen a coalition government here in Canada for almost a century, and the concept that Stephen Harper could lose power certainly had him on the defensive.
My constituents have spoken. It's on my website. They're giving me marching orders. Number one, take them down.
How quickly things change.
The talks are going very well.
They were political rivals just 6 weeks ago, but now Liberals are poised to lead a coalition government with the NDP and at times the Bloc. Party heavyweights are beaming at their prospects.
We are at one, the three of us, that the only person who can lead the country is the duly elected leader of the party, Mr. Stéphane Dion.
Appear to be engaged in a power grab to reverse the results of the last election. They've been planning this for months.
The momentum clearly with the opposition now, as a visibly rattled Prime Minister faces the reality he could lose power in a week.
But I can just tell you, Mr. Prime Minister, or Mr. President, I can just tell you, Mr. Speaker, I would certainly not want to find myself governing this economy today and in this position under a situation where I was required to follow socialist economics and be at the behest of the veto of the separatists.
Now, I can tell you this is a far cry from the era of cooperation that all politicians were espousing shortly after the October 14th election and the subsequent throne speech earlier last month. Also coming up at 5:30, I'll be speaking with Liberal MP Bob Rae. He will give us more details of this proposed NDP Liberal coalition, what role he would play, what role Michael Ignatieff would play, and Dominic LeBlanc, the other leadership contender. It's all making for some chaotic times here on Parliament Hill. Marilla?
I guess so, Richard, and a pretty big whoops for the Prime Minister. What are his options right now?
Well, the option is December 8th, of course, is the date of the non-confidence vote. There are several of them, so we're still waiting to find out what non-confidence vote will be actually voted upon. That is one option that could keep the Conservative minority government in power if the actual non-confidence clause is removed, although that seems doubtful as the atmosphere here, as I said, is chaotic and almost poisonous between the Conservatives and the other opposition parties. Another option, of course, that we're hearing rumors about is proroguing Parliament, in essence, resetting the parliamentary agenda for next spring. Some say that's delaying the inevitable of the defeat of the Harper minority.
All right, last quick question. What are the other Tories looking at for Stephen Harper now? Is his job in trouble?
Well, absolutely. That's another issue that's arisen. I would have loved to be a fly on the wall in caucus meeting today. Obviously, many are saying that this is a gross miscalculation by Stephen Harper and the Conservatives. There was no need to put in the public financing aspect to political parties that we saw in last week's economic update, that threw Parliament upside down, essentially. They were saying that this was a poison pill, another gross miscalculation. There is already a website that's been created, Conservatives for Jim Prentice. Many are looking at him to lead the Conservatives This is an unimaginable situation from just 6 weeks ago after the Conservatives increased their minority status here on Parliament Hill. Certainly, internally, many would believe that the knives are out for Stephen Harper.
Richard, thank you for that. Dwayne.